Today I'm going to make 2 language videos. The first language video is going to just be making a study guide for the language test. So on your notebook paper, I want you to write study, language, and then put the word test, and then put the date that that test will be, which is Wednesday, November 4th, which is tomorrow. Okay, so let me put this a little bit higher because I just realized it can't be seen what I'm writing. Alright, there we go. Alright, the first thing I'm going to have you write down has to do with capitalization and punctuation. And there's 2 different things they're going to have you do on the test for that. Alright, so one thing is you're going to be given 2 sentences, and they will be the exact same sentence. They will be the exact same sentence, and you just read both sentences, and then you have to decide which sentence is correct. Which one has correct capitalization and correct punctuation. One of them will be wrong. And hopefully it will be blatantly wrong. Okay, I promise you the next person I see with their sticker on their face is going to throw their sticker in the trash can. Did everyone hear me say, do not put your sticker on your face? We don't put stickers on our faces. We're 3rd grade. So if you put your sticker on your face, you're telling me I want to throw my sticker away now. I should not be having to say that 3 times. No, I said don't put it there either. Because that's still on your face. Alright, the other thing you're going to have to do is correct sentences using proofreader marks. So, I'm going to have you write that. Use proofreader marks. And that may be the 3 little lines that tells you to capitalize, or the little insert mark where you're inserting punctuation. If you put the little insert mark, you should be putting a comma above it, or a period above it, or the end of the sentence punctuation, like the period, the question mark, or the exclamation mark, or in the case of an imperative sentence, it's still another period, right? 2 times you'd use a period. Alright, so you're going to correct sentences, inserting. Actually, there are 3 sections, because there's also the section where you're going to tell me what kind of sentence it is and insert the punctuation at the end of the sentence anyway. I haven't given you a page number yet, so just be patient with me. I'm going to give you a page number that tells you all the capitalization rules. And those start, so the capitalization, I'm going to have you write capitalization again. And the capitalization rules start on page 193, and they continue on to 194. They start at the bottom of the page. It says capitalization rules. Number 1, capitalize the first word of every sentence. Number 2, capitalize proper nouns. Remember, that's a particular person, place, or thing. Number 3, capitalize days of the week, months of the year, but not the seasons. Turn the page. Number 4, capitalize holidays and special days. Number 5, capitalize names referring to God and the Bible. Number 6, capitalize names, titles of respect, initials, and the word I. And number 7, capitalize the first word, the last word, and every important word in the titles of books, stories, poems, and songs. All right, so there are number 1 through 7. Okay, so you can put capitalization number 1 through 7. There are 7 rules. You're responsible for all those rules. We've learned them all. And then for punctuation, this one may have to be several different rules because we've learned about the comma, correct? All right, so the comma rule, actually I'm gonna have to find punctuation. I think they're all under punctuation. Yep, there it is. All right, so punctuation, all right, so underneath punctuation, which starts on page 198, you have learned the apostrophe, which you will be using only rule 2. So for the apostrophe, you're using number 2 rule. The number 2 rule, oh, no, I'm sorry, it's not number 2. On our chart, it's number 2, it's number 1. They put them in order in the book. I assumed it was going to be rule 2, but on the chart, it's rule 2. They're saying use apostrophe S to make a singular noun show possession. Like Gabe, the bicycle that belongs to Gabe becomes Gabe's bicycle. So you need an apostrophe S after Gabe so that that bicycle shows possession to Gabe. Gabe's bicycle. Gabe, apostrophe S. So that's your apostrophe. And then, comma, you're doing number, I'm going to make sure you, number 1 is run-on sentence. And we have learned that, but I don't think that's on your test. In fact, I know it's not. So number 2, which is yes or no at the beginning of the sentence. And number 3, which is direct address. So it depends on where the name is. If you're speaking to somebody in a sentence, if their name is at the beginning of the sentence, you put the comma after their name. If their name is at the end of the sentence, you put the comma before their name. If their name is somewhere in the middle, you put the comma before and after their name. That is when you are speaking to someone, direct address. So don't just put commas just because you see somebody's name. It's only when you're speaking to them. And that's all we've learned for the comma rules. Only 2 rules so far. All right, and then going on to period. For the period, we learned to use a period at the end of a declarative sentence. So that's kinds of sentences. We also learned to use a period after initials. So that's rule number 2. So we've learned rule number 1, end of the sentence for a declarative sentence and an imperative sentence. Rule number 2, initials. And rule number 3, which would be abbreviated titles of respect. Which title of respect is not abbreviated, so it does not get period?
Miss.
Miss. M-I-S-S, capital M-I-S-S, Miss, which is an unmarried lady. What do you do for the abbreviation for Mrs.? What is the abbreviation for Mrs.? Yes,
Capital M-R-S.
yes, capital M-R-S, period. What's Mr.?
Capital M-S. Period.
You know that's not right. I'm getting very, very tired of you not answering correctly. Tell me the real answer right now. Mr.
Capital M-R.
Yes, period. Please stop acting like you don't know these things. Yes, you do, because I've seen you do it right on a test or a quiz. Please stop acting like you don't know, because you're confusing people that really do not know when you blurt out these wrong answers. Hey, what about doctor? Owen?
D-R period.
Doctor is D-R period, capital D-R period. What about reverend? Come on, get it up. Wow. Jonathan, reverend.
Capital R-E-V period.
Very good, capital R-E-V period. And I think that was all of them. But anyway, you need to make sure you look those up. I think most of those are in your book underneath period, except reverend. I don't see reverend. I see Mr., Doctor, Mrs., Miss, which is the one that doesn't get a period because it's not an abbreviation. Also, days of the week, months of the year, we know that one, but I don't think that one's on the test. In fact, I'm sure it's not. So I'm not even gonna put the days of the week, months of the year one on the, here. All right, the next thing you need to know is kinds of sentences. So number 2, kinds of sentences. So you need to identify and punctuate. So you will be reading a sentence, and then you have to tell me what kind of sentence it is and punctuate it correctly. So you have to tell me, is it declarative? Is it interrogative? Is it exclamatory? Or is it imperative? And then you need to also punctuate it accordingly. So kinds of sentences, you can find the rules for that on page 197. So beside kinds of sentences, put page 197. And it is numbers 1 through 4 because there are 4 kinds of sentences that we've learned. 1 through 4. So declarative, which is a telling sentence. It just makes a statement, ends in a period. Interrogative, which is a sentence that asks a question, so it ends with a question mark. Exclamatory, shows sudden or strong feeling, so it ends with a exclamation mark, also known as an exclamation point. And imperative, which gives a command and also ends with a period, just like your declarative did. All right, so I know it looks like a lot, and actually it is a 2-page test. It is a 2-page test, but the only thing on the second page is the types of sentences, the kinds of sentences. Okay, that's the only thing on the second page. So, going through what's on your test again. Oh, there's one more thing I didn't need to have you write down. I forgot, there is a number 3. Nouns, and I'm running out of room. Raise your hand if you're not done writing this. Okay. All right, I'm gonna put number 3 up here. Whoops. Let's use the same marker I was already using. Okay, number 3, you need to be able to identify nouns. So you're gonna just find all the nouns. All right, so there could be common, right? Could be proper. It could be compound. And I need to know, do they call them abstract nouns, which are nouns you cannot see? I don't remember if they're going to call them that or not in here. Nouns you cannot see. Alright, these are all on different pages. So common is on page 194, so just put above the word common, put a 194. Compound is also on page 194, so above the word compound, put page 194. Proper is on page 198. And I'm trying to find the ones where you cannot see them. What are they calling them? I've always known them as abstract nouns. I cannot even find it in the book. They're not calling them anything in the back of the book. Action, adjective, adverb. Stop talking out. punctuation rules, run-on sentence, sentence, singular noun. Subject, verb agreement, synonyms. Okay. You know what? Let's just say you cannot see. What are those verbs that we're talking about that you cannot see? Or nouns, sorry, not verbs. Nouns. What are the nouns you cannot see?
Abstract noun.
I know, but what are they? Give me some examples.
Happiness.
Happiness, very good. Give me another example. Olivia?
Joyful. Hungry.
Joyfulness. You would have to say joyfulness. Hunger, not hungry.
Happiness.
Hunger. Hunger.
Happiness.
Hunger. What else?
Determination.
Determination. Very
Happiness.
good. Happiness.
Mad.
Mad. Anger.
Anger.
Anger. Anger.
Sad.
Sadness. Sadness.
Dismay.
Say it again.
Dismay.
Dismay.
Sleepy.
Say it again.
Sleepy.
No, 'cause that's an adjective describing. That's not a thing. Okay? Yes.
Fear.
You could say sleepiness. Sleepiness. Fear. Very good. What about courage? Bravery. All right. Gentleness. Okay. You got those covered. Right now.
All the fruits
All right.
of the spirit.
Yes, all those fruits of the Spirit.
Weird.
Right. And you will have to find them on the test. You're going to have to find nouns. You're going to have to find the nouns in just a group of words, and you're going to have to find the nouns in sentences. Right. We'll start another video when we do your paper.